everybody and welcome back to another On The Table video, guys. So, what are we going to be looking at this time? Well, I've done a few things since I've finished the Warhammer Titan. Done a bit of model, done a bit of painting, done a bit of tool related stuff, so we're just going to jump right in. First things first, did a little bit of gaming as well. It's 4 things I've been doing. We're going to jump in with the gaming stuff actually, and it leads into some modelling and some building and some conversions that I've been doing. Basically guys, I had a game the other day, and for the first time ever I actually used Dragoons, Sidonian Dragoons in my Adeptus Mechanicus army. As you guys know, I have the ones that I converted with the it was Ogryns and Sentinel legs and various other little bits and stuff. And I kind of ran out of bits to make a third one, even though I had a third Ogryn torso, but I lacked some of the other components. However, at the Forge World Open Day, I managed to pick up a Sentinel leg sprue completely for free, which was nice. Saved me a hell of a lot of money. And I came up with this guy currently, so he's kind of half built at the moment. Slightly different from my other ones, mainly because he's not using the Sentinel. My dog's going mental. Bloody dog, going and barking at people going past the house at this time, and I'm like, what a little bastard. But anyway, yeah, a few slight differences with this one. Mainly the fact that I didn't have the Sentinel like crotch groin piece going on, and it was, let me just re-angle my my LED, and so I had to use an armature one again that I picked up on the Forge World Open Day. It also doesn't have the cowling that I was on the leg pieces here, well here and here, that I use from the Cataphrons, because I've used that in other parts, other things. Now, I've managed to procure one of these as well. It's like the welder from the galvanic servo haulers. So I have 2 variants like these little welders. I've got one that's like a prod and one that's like an actual welding device. We're going with this kind of arm as well, with the chainsaw on the go. That's going to be up like that, because that's how this torso allows it. And then I've got the head, which goes on like that, and he looks really cool, and they were very, very good. They performed very, very well in game. I was surprised. Normally I get put off, like the expensive units that look really cool aren't very good in game, but this is actually really decent. So I'm going to be adding a third one of those guys to my army soon. So we have that, what I did. The next thing, I've been doing a little bit of painting, and the first thing I'm going to show you, if I get them all out, and again this is due to the fact that I read something really cool the AdMech can do. It's like the Servitor maniple. Now this is really useful, because when you have Servitors, such as these fine metal fellows that I have here, you can actually use these guys in the game to buff and to rejuvenate lost units of Cataphrons, or Cataphron Servitors. Basically, you can either use one to, I think, regain D3 wounds on it, or if a Cataphron dies, you can basically, I think, spend a command point, take one of these guys off, and replace a Cataphron. Kind of like the Tech Priest just plops one of these guys in the Cataphron chassis, and off it goes. So I was pretty chuffed. I have to move the camera a little bit, guys. Sorry about this, a bit unprofessional. I was pretty chuffed with the way these guys came out. I actually had a bunch of them knocking around. I think I had to buy 4, and I've got 1 more on order, but it means now that I've got, how's it, I think I've got 8, no, not 8, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus the 1 more that's still awaiting arrival. But yeah, I painted these guys pretty basic. I've not finished them yet. They're kind of like a work in progress. Got some little eye lenses and stuff to do, and then some of the little wires and things, but they've got their main colours on there, and they're just a bit of a wash on. I didn't really want to bother spending too long on painting these guys, because they're probably going to die straight away, so there's not really much point in spending a lot of time painting excruciating detail. But we've got an interesting mix of Servitors, and there's some that I've only got 1 of. For example, I've only got 1 of this, I call him Grill Face, because he's got a grill for a face. And I've only got a few of these guys with the metal hand. I've also got another guy over here. Where's he gone? Where's Clamps? This guy I call Clamps, because he's just got clamps. Get on, Clamps! Get on the clamps, Clamps! So I like this guy. He's my favourite one. I need to do some work on the eye there, that little tube going into his nose. I had to do a little bit of work on this guy converting, because I've actually lost one of the other Servitor arms. So he's kind of got just a little converted arm there, like a little crank handle on there. Maybe that's to open and close this. I don't know. That's just how he is. But yeah, so I was pretty happy with the way these guys turned out. Simple but effective. effective. I was also really worried because I hate painting flesh, guys. I absolutely loathe painting flesh. And the flesh on this came out alright. It's kind of like necrotic but dirty, yet still living. So I was kind of happy with that. So I've been doing a little bit of painting. Those guys aren't finished yet. Speaking of painting, I went to Moggy's not long ago, and he actually hooked me up with this. I went to get help with my Patriot 105. As I was doing these, I was noticing that it was clogging a lot, and like the actuation of my airbrush, it just wasn't up to standard. It needed a good service and a good clean. As you can see, it's absolutely sparkling. It's like it's brand new, pretty much straight out of the factory. I can't really fault Moggy at all. He did a really good job on cleaning this up and sorting out with the nozzle and things like that. There's a couple of issues as well, like the inside of it was all like the lubricant that allows. Let's see if I can. Oh, it's tight. Oh, I can't do it. Basically, the lubricant that's inside this section here that allows that to come back had all dried up, and it was really squeaky and really stiff. So Moggy sorted me out with refurbishing all that as well and cleaning all the parts. So very, very happy. He also hooked me up with this quick release, which was very, very nice of him. So now I can interchange airbrushes. Now, great Jojo man, you might be saying, you might be thinking, why am I wanting to interchange airbrushes? Surely I've only got one airbrush. Well, that's not the case, because this is actually my second airbrush. My first airbrush is actually this one right here, and it's a Servitors 2020, and I stopped using it for ages because I fucked it. I really well and truly fucked it up. Basically, the nozzle assembly was all kind of fucked. Basically, inside here there's a tiny, tiny nozzle. It's so microscopically small, if you drop it, you might as well buy a new one because you're never going to find it. And I basically shoved my needle too far in, and I basically splayed out the inside of it. And I don't have any examples to show you here because I don't have a second one. I've got one on order. But basically, the nozzle is a certain diameter, and as I've rammed the needle, let's see if I can just demonstrate. The nozzle's like that, and as I've rammed... No, how am I going to do it? There we go. As I've rammed the needle through, it's basically pushed the nozzle, the end of it, outwards and splayed it, which has basically ruined it. So that's why. Also, it was gunked up with paint as well. So I decided, do you know what? I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use that as an example and refurbish this. So I bought some new parts. Namely, I'll show you how small the nozzle assembly is on this actually. So if I just undo this, basically the nozzle fits just inside that little bit there. It's just a push fit. I think it is anyway. Or am I mistaken? Does it go in this bit? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've taken the Servitors apart. No, it definitely goes inside that little hole there, and then that screws over the top of it, or you can put a nozzle cap on there, a proper one. Those little prongs are just to stop it from getting dinged. But yeah, guys, so I decided to refurbish this, and because I have a quick release, I can now quite easily interchange. I just need to wait for the quick release to come from Barwell for the Servitors. And yeah, that's going to help improve my airbrushing, because I've decided to take it upon myself in 2020 to get better at airbrushing stuff. Speaking of getting better at stuff, I actually seem to have regressed a little bit because I've been doing some converting as well. I'm going back to the Adeptus Mechanicus stuff, a bit all over the place, a bit jumpy, backwards and forwards this video. But I decided to see what this, is it Daedalus, or whatever it is? There's a Tech Priest model that came out with Blackstone Fortress. And he's very, very good in the actual codex. Well, not in the codex, because he's not in the codex, but his rules are actually amazing. That dog is going mental at something, and I don't know what. But yeah, so the Daedalus, or the Tech Priest that you get in Blackstone Fortress, he's got very, very cool rules for a 50-point model, a 50-point HQ choice. Very, very interesting. He's got a rule which basically means he has a marker light, essentially. So you can pick a unit and then pick an enemy, and that unit then gets +1 to hit against the enemy. Now you combine that with like Wrath of Mars, and all of a sudden Cataphrone Servitors are hitting on 2s. So when you utilise like 4 heavy grav cannons like I do, that's hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s because I'm going to have Belisarius Call always near there, and they do like 20 shots and they're really damaging, so I decided I was going to get one of those. However, after looking online, I didn't want to pay the monstrous prices people are charging for him, so I decided to convert my own one, and here he is. Let's just get a little bit of a zoom on there. So he's not really anything that special. He's just a tech priest with a couple of fancy rules, but it's just nice to have a little character model. So I decided to make this guy here. I used a Dark Angel's head, old school Dark Angel's head from the old Dark Angel's upgrade sprue. Used the the Data Smith body. I actually found him. I've been looking for this sprue that had this guy on it for about a year, and I found it on top of a box on the very top of my shelf, so I was very happy with that. Found that. Modified his gun a little bit. Used the end of an old Myrmidon Destructor gun. It said it looked like it had a face then, apparently. It was face detected, very strange. Yeah, on the end there to make his pistol look a little bit more interesting. He's got kind of like an additional servo arm here that's got this little computer screen, which is quite cool. I like it. Adds a bit more depth for the character. I chopped his power fist off, replaced it with the Skitarii hand that's pointing. He's also got a shouty face. We like shouty faces. He's running forward and got some servo arms. Again, the servo arm there is from the Skylax Guardian Automata. So I just clipped on the side very, very nicely. And then his backpack is just a standard backpack that you get with the Data Smith. But I thought, you know what, not bad for a tiny little conversion. I said I feel like I've regressed a little bit in my converting abilities. I just don't do much converting anymore. I don't really have the need to. This is the first time I've had a need to convert anything in regards to the hobby. Because it's something that I didn't have, something that I couldn't afford, something that I couldn't obtain. So I decided, you know what, well, they say the necessity is the mother of invention. So there we go, I invented a new tech priest. But anyway, that being said, guys, I'm going to let this video come to an end. Please let me know what you think. What do you think of the Servitors? What do you think of my Dragoon? And what do you think of my tech priest character right here? I would love to hear what you guys are thinking in the comments in the doobly-doo down below. Don't forget to check out the Facebook page. Don't forget to check out the Instagram. It's all in the doobly-doo. And I will see you guys again. So, thank you very much for watching. See you now, and goodbye.